Hello, good evening, y'all. It is Wednesday evening, when the third night in the Wellness Through the Four Elements series that I'm doing in these Facebook Lives. Tonight is the Earth element. Whew. So many gifts that we have from our dear Mother Earth. Provide for us so many beautiful nourishments of both the body and the spirit, and the mind too, just in the amazement at all of the wonder happening in how the earth works. So this evening I want to talk about, first off, a key practice that is so beneficial right now, especially with our emotions running high and lots of fear coursing through us as individuals, us as a society, through the world, what's going to happen, what's going on, and the practice of grounding, getting grounded. I like to say ground, center, balance. And grounding, it's not tough to do. It is truly, yes, we can do it inside, but most beneficial to do it outside. And get yourself outside. My favorite hashtag, get outside, and just get outside. Get those feet on the earth. Preferably bare ground that is not covered in concrete or in pavement. So you've got this magnificent surface of soil, plant, grass, weeds by the side of the road, whatever, to just simply go stand on, or if you have the space and the ability that you can literally lie down on the mother. That is, bar none, such a great benefit to our bodies. When I'm having a really wacky and oftentimes full day, I can get caught up in all the busyness and doing and so on, and catch myself before I go kind of off the rails and end up not being efficient and being able to do anything because I'm just kind of doing a scramble. But to go and get belly down. So what I do, I'm very fortunate. I'm blessed to have a lovely backyard that is surrounded by fir trees and some western red cedar. So I truly, especially in these colder weather, get outside, and because the ground is still pretty wet, even though we haven't had any rain for a while, and to get my ground cover and just lie that out on the ground and lay flat down on that so that I have every single part of the front part of my body and the under of my arms touching the earth, and lie there and simply breathe. And if you really tuck into the energy that's going on in your head and in your heart, and just start doing some deep breathing, even some mild, not so deep breathing, and just okay, knowing that we as humans are pulling our energy both from the earth and from the sky. Talked a little bit about this on Monday evening. But as women, we primarily pull our energy up from the earth. And for men, they primarily pull from the sky, from the heavens. And so, because we both need both the above and below energy, we have this beautiful spiral energetic dance of the feminine energy coming up from the earth and then coming through us, going up to the sky, grabbing that sky energy and then bringing it back down and doing that. It's like the infinity hoop, if you will. So just spend some time doing that. And again, if you can't lie down on the ground, if you can't get any more space than to simply stand on the earth, fantastic. Biggest piece is that you are out under the sky and you have your feet planted on the earth. Now, I find it kind of funny, quite funny actually, that we now have a term for this and have had for the past few years, noted as earthing. It's like, well, yeah, let's just get out and get on the earth, get outside, get that fresh air, get that energetic flow starting to move in and through and around us. So grounding in that belly down or standing or sitting, I try to take the time in the very early morning when I get up, feed the cats so I'm not attacked by hungry felines, get that taken care of first, and make it pretty much my first move to get outside, pretty much no matter what the weather. And sometimes it's quite hilarious with the muffler and the earmuffs and the whole gloves and the whole thing. But to just take in that calm and wonderful purity of the energy to start, do some breathing. I have a beautiful poem by John O'Donohue that is called A Morning Offering. And I have a video of that on my YouTube channel, which I encourage you to go there, and at least the whole poem is printed out in the description. But listen to it. It's so beautiful in how it starts out, I bless the night that nourished my heart. And then it goes through and ultimately at the end asking us to take that jump of, let me live the life I've always dreamed of today. So check it out. YouTube channel for me is just Heather Michet, and I'd love for you to check that out. And if there's anything else on there that you'd like to listen to, some singing of mine. And I'm actually posting the videos, these live Facebooks on YouTube as well. Your subscribe would be awesome too. That helps me. So that poem, I bring that up because that's a big part of helping me get, I'm quiet if it's early in the morning because I've just gotten up and starting to round, but it's a nice in-between to help us go from that dream space into, okay, now I'm coming into my day, coming into my full awareness, out of dream time and resting and slowly simmering into the day. So you can try it with poetry. I really recommend silence and quiet to simply when you're grounding, when you're earthing, whatever you want to call it, to really just be really present, feel what's going on in your body, do a little assessment. It's like, okay, I'm going to be ready for that cup of tea, or, first thing in the morning, getting some water in is really great. And hydrating after a long number of hours during sleep when we haven't been feeding ourselves with that wonderful water element. And so the belly on the earth, the sitting on the earth, it indeed can help really bring us into our full awareness, as well as our body, of course, and give us those moments of, okay, this is what's real. This is what is feeding me. And being male or female, being outside is so critical. We have a cat wanting to be part of the program. Thank you, Yasmina. No matter which gender you are, just getting outside. So critical for men to get outside and get under those stars, under that sky, to really help balance the mental energy. We all, especially now, are running so much mental energy. To be able to get some of that fresh air, spirit, is really helpful to balance and trigger our breathing, to ground, center, and balance. There's also a really great movie that is a documentary, and it's called The Grounded. It's been pretty difficult to find. It is in, I know it's in my library system, which I can't access right now due to the closures, but it's a wonderful movie that profiles several people who, through having different illnesses, they've gained so much healthfulness in reconnecting with the earth. And label it what you will, call it woo-woo or what have you, but the earth is our constant. And so connecting with that and the electromagnetic frequencies that we get from it. If you can go barefoot, like in your backyard or somewhere out in nature that is going to be safe for your feet, of course, even better, to have no barrier between you and that fabulous electromagnetic field that is being offered up by the earth. Another way that you can certainly be grounding, centering, and balancing is through an activity that is, of course, outside. Walking, hiking, we can do all of these things now, provided we have the physical capability to do so. And we can go hiking with a friend, meet up at the trailhead, have your designated distance, etc. Or I invite you to actually get out and have some alone time in nature, to just really turn on your senses, turn off your phone, have it with you for safety reasons and so on, in case you need to call for some help. But, turn off all the sound, all the notifications, and so on. Maybe put it in airplane mode or turn it off until you need it. And just cut the distractions so that you can really plug in all those senses to what are you hearing? I mean, the birds here in the Pacific Northwest and in the Northern Hemisphere, I've got friends in Australia, so they're in a completely different season right now. But the birds are just going nuts at this beginning of springtime. So many birds calling out and trying to get a little bit of food scratched out of the soil. Hopefully those worms are starting to come up, so it's pretty yummy for them. And also other insects and grubs. So turn into that sound and even make your own sound. We talked about the air element Monday night and that importance and just absolutely great benefit of singing, creating sound. I know some people is like, oh, I can't sing. It's not about being on perfect pitch. It's not about having a song that you've memorized or whatever. It is truly getting that sound manifesting through your body and the frequency vibrating throughout. It's one of the most powerful things that we can do is to sing. It doesn't have to be words. It can be tones. It can be gibberish words. So try that out when you're outside. Walking, hiking. I do probably the lion's share of my vocal work with respect to having songs come to me. Like I'll get lyrics, I'll get a melody. That I do have my phone for because I want to use my audio voice recorder to capture what's coming through because I don't have pen and pencil and so on. So I have that available and have that wonderful tool available. But it's also a time when I'm out hiking and walking that I am learning a lot of new music that I'm wanting to add to my repertoire. So bringing this down, we've got the sights. Oh my gosh, the textures. Look at the textures. Pick up on those. The colors this time of year, the variety of greens. Just looking at that, absolutely mind-blowing at the variety of greens, from neon green to deep emerald green. Just spectacular. And to just see the diversity of it is so, it's almost overwhelming to me to just see all this fabulousness at one time when you're in the woods, or even at small place in your backyard or front yard. And yes, thank you, Julia. Vocalize. Yes, vocalize. Getting that air element going as you're getting the earth element recharged as well. Some other things that you can look at for activity. Of course, you can, be biking and doing some camping. The Japanese have a term, forest bathing. And so you can look that up and check out some of the great writings about the benefits of that. Again, it's spending time in nature, and it's still available to us. As we're self-quarantining, we're sheltering in place. Do get outside. Do get out under the stars, under the heavens, and get those feet planted on the earth. So moving on to some of these other fabulous gifts that we have from the earth. We have plants, magnificent plants. And oh my gosh, what they provide for us, so much. We have certainly our food that comes from the plant world with nuts and seeds and veggies and so grains and all different variety that we have. In these times, with so much stress happening for so many of us, and with the uncertainty and all, I really encourage you to eat as cleanly as possible. And what I mean by that is try to minimize as much as you can processed foods and refined sugars and lots of floury things. I know we tend to want to gravitate towards comfort foods and so on, and that's fine and good to certainly partake in those treats and so on, like mac and cheese or something like that. But I'd encourage you to not totally overdose on that, because it's pretty heavy for our bodies to really deal with when we have a lot. Our bodies are stressed, so our systems are stressed. And the body needs all the help it can get right now. And any times that we're in stress, and even not super stressed, but to offer it and provide for it the food that really is medicine for our bodies. So vegetables, fresh vegetables if at all possible. Over and over, I'm reading and hearing from people that they're going into grocery stores to do a bit of their shopping, and the center aisles are decimated for the most part. Canned foods are being hoarded up and pulled up with great numbers. And all of these fresh veggies are in abundance on the outer edges of the store. So pick up those veggies, eat your veggies. Yeah, eat your veggies, do smoothies with the supplements that you do, in your smoothies and so on. But along with staying hydrated, getting these really good foods in that truly give you nourishment and give you energy that the body can more readily digest is a huge recommendation of mine. And in the speaking of smoothies, for those of you who have some access to land, ground, where you can go, might even be an abandoned field or something nearby your home, is check out some of the wonderful foods that are wild, often termed as weeds and pests and all, that you can totally enjoy and give your body a treat as a spring tonic. And one of my very favorites is dandelion. I've done a YouTube, it's not quite uploaded yet, sorry. That'll be uploaded soon, but I've done a YouTube video how to identify dandelion, and one of its most common imposters that is really, really close, but once you look at them together, they're not really close or identical at all. But if you can grab some dandelion from a place that has not been sprayed and chemicalized, get some of those dandelion greens, toss them in your smoothies, toss them in your salads, add them to soups, add them to stir fries. And this time of year, they don't have that super bitter flavor or astringent flavor, although that astringency is actually really good for our systems because we're just coming into spring and it's a great time to do a cleanse and a detoxing. And dandelion is such a great tonic and helps purify the blood and helps nourish the circulatory system, helps with digestion, so on and so on. I've also got some blogs on my website, irishealingarts.com, that talk about dandelion, give you some recipes, talk about some of its magnificent nutrients and gifts to the body. So check that out if you feel like doing so. And it's so crazy how fast this time goes on these lives. It's just nuts. I have to talk about essential oils because we're talking about plants in this part right now. And essential oils are a really, really magnificent gift for our wellness and health, and really lots of healing that they can provide. I'm a registered aromatherapist and have been for, oh gosh, we're going on year 17, and that takes us back to the early aughts. The aromatherapy that I studied and absolutely fell in love with is the French method, which is the medical model. So this was long before the fads started that if you have a bottle of essential oil, all of a sudden you're an aromatherapist. And the really fast, super fast nutshell is that essential oils are plant-derived medicine. They literally are the lifeblood of the plant that is being either distilled or pressed, or there's a couple other methods depending on the plant material and how the essential oil is derived from the plant material that it lives in. And it lives in different parts of different plants. For example, in citrus fruits, the essential oil is embedded in the skin. So you know that, like you've probably peeled an orange and there's that, it kind of sprays a little bit, and then you have that red, that's the essential oil. So essential oils are so compatible and helpful to our human bodies because they have the exact same building blocks chemically as our bodies do: carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. So our bodies, once the very strong, important immune defense guys see these essential oil molecules start coming into the body, they don't freak out and go, oh, close the gates, you know, we don't know if this is friend or foe. They're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, oh yeah, come on in. Because it looks just like other cells in our body with that carbon, oxygen, hydrogen base. So one other huge piece to say is that, and I should probably just do a whole evening on essential oils, because I could do umpteen evenings of a Facebook Live on that for sure. But the one thing I really want you to know is that there's a huge misunderstanding around essential oils and their use for us as humans. And the misunderstanding is kind of an assumption that many people have made and approach whether they're selling essential oils or they're wanting to help you with something, utilizing oils that they have, is that, oh, any essential oil is good for any body at any time and maybe for anything. And that is patently untrue. One great phrase that a dear colleague of mine coined several years ago that I absolutely love and use so frequently is, you cannot have a highly beneficial material, i.e. essential oils or medicine, and have it be benign. So what does that really mean? What it means is there's a lot of precaution to be taken with essential oils and their use. And to really use it as medicine, I strongly recommend getting with a professional. And I know so many people just self-dose and all that, and I've seen some of the very, very dangerous reactions that people have had to essential oils that have been administered to them or that they've been told to do. And it's very frightening. It's very frightening. So what I really want is for this medicine to be respected, the medicine of essential oils, plant medicine, including herbs. Herbs can be misused, and yes, they're wonderful, and you need to self-educate, or you need to go to someone who is educated to really know and get how they can assess what oils or blends might be good for you and for your constitution and for what you're looking for as far as help with an ailment that you are wanting to improve or eliminate. So that being said, don't steer clear of them, but run it by. I mean, if you have questions, you can certainly contact me by email. You can do a contact on my website and check in. My email address is simply heather@irishealingarts.com. And then you can certainly go to the website as well and just send me a message. So that's the bit that I would like to share tonight. I'm endeavoring to keep these shorter as opposed to longer so that they're not overwhelming as far as information, ideas, and so on. Certainly leave me any comments or questions in the comments here, or as I say, contact me. And I'd love for you to stay in touch and stay connected. And we can do that certainly on Facebook, on my Iris Healing Arts page. You can follow me on YouTube, and I'm also on Instagram, or just reach out on email, heather@irishealingarts.com. Thanks so much for watching, and tomorrow is episode 4 in this series, and that is going to be talking about the fire element. So have a great rest of your evening. Be safe, be well, and love one another. Take care of one another. And we're doing this. We can do hard things, and we are doing this.